Hi Scorpio, welcome to Stardust Astrology. This is your monthly forecast for November 2016, and this is going to apply if you have your Ascendant or Moon in Scorpio mostly, to a lesser degree if your Sun is in Scorpio. Even if your Aruda Lagna is in Scorpio, in that case, this is going to describe what the world around you perceives about you this month. And if your Atmakaraka is in Scorpio, then you are going to feel this very personally. I am using Vedic Sidereal positions, which means that we are currently in the month of Libra, not Scorpio. Scorpio is going to, the Scorpio month is starting from the 16th of November. Let's get started. Now, if we take a quick look at your chart, the first thing that we notice is that there are two planets in your first house. The black guy is Saturn, the pink girl is Venus. I'm gonna come to that in a second. But before that, all the planets are located from one side of Rahu-Ketu axis, and for you guys, Rahu-Ketu axis is happening in your 10th house and your 4th house, putting a lot of emphasis on issues of career versus home in the previous, well, from the beginning of 2016. But at this particular time period, all other planets are from just one point of this axis, and all of them are indirect, which points to a certain imbalance. It means that a lot of energy is focused on one half of your life, let's say on several areas of life, while the other areas of your life are neglected at this time. And there's nothing wrong with imbalances. This is something that is happening at the sky at the moment for all of us. It just depends which houses are affected, depending on your ascendant or moon or sun sign. And for you guys, most of the focus is outward, on your achievements, on your gains, on your relationships with many people, right? This is not time when you are very, let's say, family oriented, sitting at home watching TV, or just I don't know, drinking coffee with your mom or sister. No, this is the time for achievements. And Saturn has been transiting your first house from November 2014. This can be a difficult transit because the energy of Saturn is kind of restrictive. You guys are ruled by Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and it means that you have this quality, this warrior quality in you, to push forward, to chase after your dreams, to go after what you like, right? Mars is brave. You guys are brave. Saturn is not very brave. When Saturn starts transiting your first house, you become much more cautious. Some people would say that Saturn in the first house is it helps you see the world realistically. I don't agree with that. I think it helps you see the world a bit pessimistically, and it gives you a kind of restrictive vision. Now, this is important sometimes. I will explain that in a second. Every transit is there for a reason. But the moment Saturn leaves your first house, you are not gonna think that that was very realistic, what you were thinking about yourself during this time. Now, starting from November 2014, Saturn in the first house can bring about situations where you feel you need to work on yourself. You need to you need to work on your confidence a lot with this kind of transit. If you have any confidence issues, this is the transit to fix them, because they come out to the surface. Now, this is why someone will say this is a realistic transit, but you are not only made of your weaknesses. So if we have the transit which emphasizes your weaknesses, I would not say that this is realistic. It's just showing you one half of the picture, right? When Saturn comes to the first house, I'm not talking about the moon sign now, although it can happen even for the moon sign, but especially for the ascendant, you become very focused on your body. It can either be that you start some kind of new diet or health regime or exercising regime or something like that. I've seen many people, girls, especially women, change their color, hair color, to something more dark when Scorpio transits the first house as well. People also change the way they dress, the way they behave. They get some kind of serious look on their face a lot of times with this transit. It's good to start a diet. It's good for health regimes because it will give you this persistence to go through it until you see the end results. But on the other hand, if there were some issues with your health that you are not aware of, then Saturn transiting the first house can bring them to surface. This happening in the sign of Scorpio, some of the Scorpio people have even been through surgeries in the last 2 years. Now Saturn is there to fix whatever problem there might be, so this is not, in any case, this is not a bad transit, because it just brought to the surface something that might have been germinating, if that was the case with some of you. With the sign of Scorpio, this can often happen with your internal reproductive organs, or with your well, let's say the last part of your digestion system before the food goes out. Okay, I don't know the medical terms for that. When Saturn starts transiting your first house, you usually feel frustrated with yourself. Our self-confidence can be a bit lower at this point in time. I explained why, because it will put emphasis on weaknesses. And what we tend to do with this kind of transit is often reach out to other people to boost our confidence. But then when this fails, first we may feel discouraged, may feel lonely, may feel depressed, and then after a while, when we decide to start working on our issues on our own, Saturn slowly helps us rebuild our whole personality. First house is a very important house. Saturn in the first also brings a lot of work, a lot of work. If there is no work to be done, it can bring about depression. I think depression is more likely to happen for people who have their moon in Scorpio, because Saturn transiting over the moon can be a difficult transit. Some of your unpleasant emotions could come to the surface for you to deal with them. There could be this feeling of overall lack of happiness in your life at this point in time. It can bring about problems at home. And again, since Saturn is a very material planet and a very heavy Tamasic planet, this transit is going to pull out all the ugly stuff for you to deal with them. Don't think that this is now definite and realistic, and that Okay, I'm getting older now. This is what my life is gonna look like in the fortune. Let in the not in the fortune. Sorry, in the future. Let me make a peace with that and stay depressed and overworked till the rest of my life. No, that's not the case. It's just one period when you get the opportunity to fix all different kinds of screw ups in your life, and then when Saturn leaves you guys, and he is going to leave finally in January 2007 for 7 months. Then he's gonna come back shortly for the period from July to October 2017. You will have the chance to, let's say, tie up the loose ends if there are any, and then he's out for good. You're not gonna feel this energy for the next 28 or 29 years. With Saturn in the first house, if you have started something new, it might be that you have been putting a lot of effort into this new project and that it hasn't yielded results yet, or not, at least not immediate results, but this can bring you a lot of permanent results down the road. So whatever you have been putting your effort into in the past 2 years, just know that very soon it's gonna start bringing much more results than you have seen with it so far. Okay, for you guys, Saturn also rules houses 3 and 4, which are in Capricorn and Aquarius, and when the planet which is heavy and which rules your houses 3 and 4 comes to your first house, it can bring about issues with younger brothers or sisters, if you have any. Now, I'm covering the period starting from November 2014 because this is the first forecast that I'm doing for you guys. So I feel like I need to cover what's happening in your first house. So starting from November 2014, you might have had to deal with some issues with your younger brothers and sisters, if you have them, with your family in the past 9 to 10 months, especially with your mother. That could also be a strong possibility. You could feel at this time that the family is somehow draining you, that they are relying on you too much, especially your mother at this point in time. With Saturn in Scorpio, he's transiting nakshatra at this point in time, which is called Jyeshta. Nakshatras are the 27 stellar constellations operating behind the zodiac signs. And when Saturn is transiting Jyeshta, which is the case now and has been the case during 2016, it brings a lot of responsibility. And for you guys, most probably they are responsibilities related to either your family, your mother, or your house. Okay, maybe if you're into politics, they can be related to your homeland. If you're into agriculture, they could be related to the lands that you are working on. If you're into, let's say, real estate business or transport business, then it can be related to your business as well. Simultaneously, Rahu is transiting your 10th house in Leo, and this is the house of your social status and your career and your placement in the world. And with Rahu in the 10th in Leo, most often what is seen is that this is the time for promotion or changes in career. Now, this influence started at the beginning of 2016, and it is going to last until August 2017, so it's a wide window of opportunities. But now November is a very, very special time related to your career, because during September the 1st we had an eclipse in Leo, which is your 10th house. which means that maybe you guys at that time started thinking about changing a career. Maybe some of you applied for a new job. Maybe some of you got this new position. Some new developments probably started happening around your career field or your social status field. And now in the first half of November, Rahu is going to be transiting this eclipsed point in your 10th house, which means that whatever, try to remember, whatever was happening back at around September the 1st, now it's going to be materialized, and the other influences around it are going to show us what ways this is going to materialize. Now, starting from October 17th, Sun has started transiting Libra, and Libra is your 12th house. When Sun goes into the 12th house, we feel very tired. We feel like we are losing our energy pointlessly, or that we are dealing with something that is draining us out of our energy. And for you guys, apart from ruling the energy, Sun also rules your 10th house. So it might be that the career is now like you feel like your career is now draining you, or that your bosses might be too demanding and you're just too tired to fulfill all the tasks that they are putting on you. This transit, however, can be good for people who are in creative fields, and it can be good for people who are working, let's say, behind the scenes in privacy, let's say laboratories or hospitals or some kind of research work, scientific work. Then if you're in any kind of field like that, it can be a good transit. And if you're traveling during November, for what we have strong indications, it can also be a good transit. Now, let's see, this new moon that is going to happen for you guys in November, not in November, the exact day of the new moon is October the 30th, and wherever we have a new moon, this area of our life shows new developments for the next 28 days. That's the duration of one lunar cycle. And for you guys, this is happening in your 12th house in Libra, and it is happening in the nakshatra called Swati. Being in the sign of Libra, this new moon is going to be ruled by Venus, and Venus is at that point in time transiting your first house, joining Saturn in the first. Being in the nakshatra of Swati, this new moon is ruled by Rahu, and Rahu is in your 10th house, transiting the eclipse point that happened in September. Simultaneously, Jupiter has entered Virgo in August, which is your 11th house. The 11th house is the house of big social networks, big projects, big gains, anything big. big, you know, like even those things and personalities, celebrities who we think are larger than life, we will also put them in the 11th house when we look at the chart. And Jupiter in the 11th opens the door for new opportunities if you are involved in any kind of either big projects or humanitarian projects, or if you're working for large organizations. Sorry. Now, Jupiter in Virgo is especially business oriented, and this is going to help either being promoted or gaining more money if you're self-employed, or if you own your private business. Now, with Venus and Rahu ruling this new moon from houses 1 and 10, this can show positive developments in your career if your career is either related to large multinational companies, or if you were planning on taking up a post abroad, like going to work in a different country. It is also good if you're, as I said, working in privacy, away from the public, laboratories, hospitals, asylums, mental institutions, even jails, anything that is closed, where you're a bit isolated. Also, if you're into any kind of research, but then this can show some serious developments in your career. Since this nakshatra supports inventors, we can see many inventors and researchers from this nakshatra. If you're into that kind of field, it's an excellent month for you. Also, if you are into aviation, I don't know, you can be a pilot or a flight attendant or whatever in aviation industry, and you applied for a job abroad, this could be the month when you see it coming through. And even if you're going on a business trip, this business trip could prove to be very beneficial. Now, together with this new moon, we can see the little green guy. This is Mercury, and Mercury for you guys rules houses 11 and, let me see where, Gemini is 8. 11 and 8. Houses 11 and 8, especially with Jupiter in 11 combined, can give sudden windfalls, sudden gains. But on the other hand, they can also give sudden losses with the money. So be careful if you are investing in something. Check things not 2 times, check them 10 times. For those of you guys who are working for some kind of, let's say, either non-profit organization or any organization that has to do with charity, this could be a good month as well. Now, when apart from what I've said related to your career, a very important influence is Venus transiting your first house. When Venus transits your first house, you become very attractive to other people, especially because in your chart Venus rules other people. It rules houses 7 and 12. This is one of the reasons why they say Scorpio is prone to secret affairs, and another reason why Scorpio is prone to seeking spiritual partners, and why Scorpio likes to enjoy bed pleasures a lot. And you do, guys. Especially Scorpio men, they are looking for very sensual female partners with pretty faces, nice voices. With this transit, you will be very attractive to the opposite sex, and partners will tend to come to you. So it can even show that a relationship starts as a secret relationship and not a very stable one, but then during time it grows into something more stable. This new moon in Swati is like that. With Swati Nakshatra, things that start in this nakshatra are not always very stable. They feel like they're lacking in roots, you know. don't have any foundation, but they have a potential to grow into something very stable, especially because Venus rules this together with Saturn, and Venus and Saturn is the prime combination for stability. Um, okay, apart from that, we need to see where Mars goes, because Mars rules you guys. Mars is the traditional ruler of sign of Scorpio, and apart from ruling your first house, it rules your sixth house, and the sixth house is the house of everyday work, where we do things that maybe are not so pleasant, but we need to do them if we want to maintain the things that we want to have. So Scorpio naturally does that. They are not the people who will find everyday tasks difficult. No, Scorpio will go through with whatever needs to be done, right? And very evolved Scorpios are so capable of selfless service with these positions. They will protect the poor, protect the needy, you know, be very brave about whatever needs to be done. So your ruler Mars has been transiting your second house in the past 6 weeks, and when Mars goes into the second house, this is not for Scorpio. Mars does not belong in the second house. This is the house of Taurus. Then Scorpio has to deal with family issues. Scorpio has to budget. Scorpio wants to fight, maybe to smoke a lot, right? It can be good though, for example, if you are doing some kind of cosmetic procedure on your face, or anything that has to do with needles, for example. This can be seen a lot for ladies with Venus transiting your first house. You want to be pretty. Mars in the second, it's related to the face, so something like that is possible. Smoking a lot is also possible in this period if you guys are smokers. Some fights in the family are also possible with this. With Ketu in the fourth, your family is so draining, and then if you become pissed, and you also become drained with Saturn in the first and this stellium of planets in the 12th. These are not easy energies. You could burst. Your speech could be very harsh, or could have been very harsh in the past 6 weeks. But then Mars, who rules you, is moving to the third house, which is a great place for Mars to be, because this is the place where you get to go and chase after whatever you want to chase for your personal pleasure, regardless of what anyone else thinks about that. Now, when I say chase after your personal pleasure, I'm not talking about serious relationships here or things like that. No, the third house is something that you just do for yourself, like sports, learning new things, developing new things. Your interests generally come here. Roaming with your friends around town and visiting loud bars, right? This is something that will become prominent during the next 6 weeks. So starting from November the 1st until December 11th, Mars is going to be in Capricorn. If we talk about work, this is a great position because it will give you the necessary strength to push through and do whatever needs to be done. It is also very good if you are planning to go on a short trip, and actually with this Mars in the third, there will be a lot of moving around, and maybe this will be the time when you learn some new technical skills if you need them for a project or a new job. This can also be the time, for example, if you have a younger brother or sister and they do not live with you, this could be the time when they come and visit. It's also a possibility. Now, Venus, after spending some time in your sign on the 7th of November, is going to move to the second house, and this is the house of money. Now, this Venus for you guys rules houses, as I said, 12 and 7, so it can denote money coming from abroad and money coming from a private business or some kind of agreement that you have with another person. But this Venus is also going to be smashed by Saturn in your first house and Mars in your third house. This could mean spending a lot of money, either on social gatherings with Jupiter in the 11th, it's very possible, or on bars and drinking with your friends. Oh yes, with this new moon in the 12th house, if nothing constructive happens, it can just happen that you feel like drinking and roaming around endlessly, just being like with no particular direction, spending money on that. Now, Mercury is going to move into your first house on November the 9th. And Mercury is great in Scorpio. It gives you a very penetrative mind, high intelligence, ability to research. But also Mercury in first house has a full directional strength, which means he's going to help you adjust to any new changes in your life, if there are any. But it will also bring very busy periods in your life with a lot of communication. It can also bring some sudden events for you guys. Again, sudden money is possible here. In any case, you will be busy running around more than in the previous month. Then the Sun comes into your first house on the 16th of November and is staying there for a whole month. So for you guys who are Scorpio Sun and who are celebrating your birthday this month, happy birthday. May you have a great year. I really wish this Saturn give you some permanent results. This Jupiter gives you some big gains, and Rahu in the 10th, very shiny career. Now when we have 3 planets in your first house, there's a lot of focus on you. People will be coming to you. They will be calling you, let's go here, let's do this. It will just be one busy period, and it is very possible that this period is going to indicate if you are sensitive, and if you can catch the clues or signs on their way, it can show you the developments which are going to take place in December, because these planets are going to be transiting the degrees where the new moon is going to fall, and the new moon is falling in Scorpio at the end of November. I'll come to that later on. Now, with everything of that said, whatever new project or venture or development is happening this month, make sure you start this in the first half of November. Even if you're going on a trip to some faraway place, it's possible with this new moon in your 12th house just to rest, because you will feel like you need to rest a bit more at some point during this month. So even if you travel, I would do that in the first half of the month, because on the 14th of November we're going to have a full moon in your 6th house, and when there is a full moon in your 6th house, this moon is ruled by Mars, who is at that time going to be in your 3rd house. There will be a lot of everyday crap that demands your attention. It could be that suddenly you have to deal with your subordinates, suddenly your, pets need extra care if you need them, or you are just a bit more nervous, you know, with when something like this is triggered, you might feel a bit nervous and just want to, I don't know, walk your pet around more. Uh, Whatever happens during this time, it will demand your everyday presence, unless some of you guys are waiting for a surgery. Then this could be the month when a surgery happens. But unless that's the case, the second half of November is going to demand a lot of your focus and effort on everyday boring things that you need to do. You'll be running around like crazy. So if you need some rest, take it during the first half of November. After the full moon, the energy when on the full moon, the energy has reached its peak, and then after the full moon, the energy starts dropping, and we can see it withdrawing. You still have things to do, but the energy is slowly withdrawing, making space for the new moon, which is going to happen the next month. And this new moon is happening in your sign, guys. So the exact date when this is happening is the 29th of November, and it is going to open a whole new lunar cycle. It's going to be an important new moon for you, and it will show new developments in, well, everything in your life. The first house is you, yourself. It can really affect everything in your life when it affects you, right? You run the show in your life. I will see you guys before that to see how to best navigate the energies of December. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it useful and make the most out of it. And until the next video, which is certainly going to be before the next lunar cycle, meaning before the 29th of November. Stay tuned to the channel and watch, or subscribe if it's easier. I wish you a wonderful month. All the best, take care, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.